In this video, I'm going to show you exactly how I use a borax solution to get darker laser engravings, step by step. There's also quite a bit of bad information floating around about this process, so I want to clear some of that up along the way. Let's jump right in. Borax isn't good for every project, but it really shines when the engraved design is meant to sit right on the surface of the wood rather than being deeply burned into it. And if what you're after is a super dark, solid black result with almost a painted or printed on look, it is also important that you plan to spray the finished piece with a clear coat, which helps protect the dark surface mark from smudging. If your project checks those three boxes, then a borax treatment is the right way to go. Mixing the solution is fairly straightforward. Using hot water, I mix a ratio of 10 parts water to 1 part borax. For the 8-ounce spray bottle, it's roughly a cup of hot water to a tablespoon of borax. The hot water is important because the borax needs to fully dissolve. Add the borax, shake or stir it well, and keep mixing until the water becomes clear again and you don't see any undissolved borax floating around. Applying the solution is pretty simple, but there's a few things that you want to make sure of. Just spray it onto the surface, and then using a foam brush to spread it out evenly. You want a solid, uniform coat across the entire area you plan to engrave. The foam brush works really well for this because it eliminates heavy spots and makes sure the coverage is consistent. And that part matters, because if you miss a spot, and that area happens to be part of the design, you can absolutely ruin the final result. Let it dry completely. If I'm in a hurry, I put it under a fan to make it dry faster. While that dries, let's jump into Lightburn and set up a quick test. I'm going to trace this paw silhouette, placing 3 copies on separate layers. I want to keep the speed the same for each one. The only thing I'll change is the power, increasing it by 10% on each layer. Now that my material is completely dry, I'm going to burn the paw prints. I'm using a CO2 laser, but a diode works just fine as well. Let's take a look at the results to see exactly what happened as the power increases. At 30% power, the laser cut fairly deep into the wood, creating a lot of smoke and soot, making it very difficult to keep the area around the engraving clean. It also burned away any trace of the borax. This is not what we're looking for. At 20%, we get a much nicer appearance. Darker coloring, not completely solid. At this power, we still have burned away some of the borax. Closer, but not ideal. At 10%, we are getting the results we would expect. Completely solid, very dark, looks painted or printed on. Very detailed designs work exceptionally well with this process because it allows you to keep the surface clean and crisp. Just make sure to get a clear coat on it as soon as possible, because it will smudge easily. So to recap, the mixing ratio is 10 parts water, 1 part borax. Evenly cover with borax solution and let dry completely. When setting up the job, remember, low power, fast speed, and make sure to clear coat as soon as you can. It will smudge easily, and everyone coming into your shop is going to instantly want to touch it. I hope this helps, and thanks for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe.